We're gonna continue reading Saigyo poetry, Saigyo poems of a mountain home. Part 14. Still reading miscellaneous poems. Here he says, page 147, we're on Burton Watson translation. A single pine tree growing in the hollow, and I thought I was the only one without a friend. My goodness. Here he has a single pine tree growing in the hollow, and I thought I was the only one without a friend. Do you ever see like a tree like all alone in the meadow?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think these trees get lonely?
Mm-hmm.
They say now that how trees communicate with each other through the roots and all this stuff, and they even share the nutrients and the air, and how they say there's networks between trees.
Yeah, it seems
And communication and a social network.
yeah,
And
they have maybe higher type of communication that we don't know.
There's some interesting books about that, and in other words, trees are in a social network.
They have some programs on television how they even tape the music the plants make. And about the trees, my goodness, how they nurture the small ones, the young ones, little
They
ones.
nurture small trees.
Yeah, how they feed them.
Could you imagine if like they open up space or light and they do all kinds of, who knows what they do? Because usually you think of the trees trying to grab all the light.
They said it.
A selfish model. It's not true. Anyways, his poem says, a single pine tree growing in the hollow, and I thought I was the only one without a friend. This poor tree.
What is a hollow?
A hollow is just like a meadow or valley or area between the mountains, or hollow space.
In the empty, yeah?
Hollow.
It's the
I don't know.
space.
Hollow. Something's hollow. The mountain of the setting sun. Here we go. I don't know what's beyond the mountain, where the late sunlight streams, but already I've sent my mind on ahead. Interesting. I don't know what's beyond the mountain where the late sunlight streams, but already I've sent my mind on ahead. Guess he's anticipating what's on the other side. And here it says, the mountain of the setting sun symbolizes the Western paradise of Amida Buddha. So he's sent his mind on ahead to the Western paradise. He's thinking of Buddhist dreams. Dreams of paradise. I don't know what's beyond the mountain where the late sunlight streams, but already I've sent my mind on ahead. Well, you could take that on a physical, just as somebody who's trying to imagine what's on the other side of a mountain. What do you think?
Well, we all do.
Of course, you always send your mind ahead somewhere.
You're always curious about what's behind.
Yeah, but a Zen Buddhist is going to recognize the fact that his mind was sent somewhere. People send their minds all over the place, but they're not being mindful that their mind went. They say mind in consciousness of the other side. My mind. Because they could say my mind is just right here, but then he's
Can say that all the time.
well. They try to be aware of where their mind, whether the mind went to the past or the future, or whether it's present or. Anyways, the next poem is "The sound of water is my companion in this lonely hut, and lulls between the storms on the peak." I guess now the sound, he still has the sound of water as my companion in this lonely hut, and lulls between the storms on the peak.
And that's what? Loves? You spell
Well,
that?
lulls, Lulls, that's just time periods between storms, between quiet period between storms. Well, if there's not a storm, he still has running water to listen to. Obviously, if he had a storm, he could listen to the storm. So he's always got a sound somewhere. Now he says, in reaped fields where quail cry, rice stubble puts up new shoots, rays of a crescent moon lighting them dimly. Reaped means a harvest field, where quail cry, rice stubble puts up new shoots, rays of a crescent moon lightly lighting them dimly. So, if it's rays of the crescent moon, it's like almost night, and he sees the rice stubble in the moonlight, I guess. In this lodging that no one visits. Oh, here he complains that no one comes. Because he wanted to be alone, but then he complains no one comes, and he probably didn't invite anybody. In this lodging that no one visits, where no one comes to call, from the moon and the trees, beams of light come poking in. So he does have a visitor. In this lodging that no one visits, where no one comes to call, from the moon and the trees, beams of light come poking in. He's reading from poems of his mountain home. So it seems to. Then he says, in a hailstorm, you can hear they are there all right. The dried leaves fallen from the twigs of the oaks. From the first phase, I follow the reading in Rokasu text. The Yama text reads Amawaisu, which yields the translation. Mournful, with a sharp sound, you hear them, the dried leaves falling from the twigs of the oaks. He says, in a hailstorm, you can hear they're there all right, the dried leaves falling from the twigs of the oaks. Well, that just means that the hail is hitting the leaves, and you recognize that the leaves are there. On a little ridge of evergreens, where two rivers meet. Woodsmen on the rocks, how cool they must be. Well, if you have two rivers meeting, it's going to be cool by the river. On a little ridge of evergreens where two rivers meet, woodsmen on the rocks, How cool they must be. Seems water puts off coolness like an air conditioner. Maybe it's hot. We don't have a season here. In a tree that stands on the crag by abandoned patties, a dove calling to its companion in the desolate twilight. In a tree that stands on the crag by abandoned patties, a dove calling to its companion in the desolate twilight. This is both in the poem collection, the Shinsu and the Shinko Sensu. Next poem, butterflies darting so familiarly among the flowers that bloom by the fence. I envy them, yet know how little time they have left. He envies the flowers, the butterflies, but they don't have much time left.
Yeah, envies the butterflies. He envies the butterflies
Why does he envy them?
because they're eating sweet nectar.
Butterflies darting so familiarly among the flowers that bloom by the fence. I envy them, yet know how little time they have left. They don't have much time, do they? Cherry petals like the tears of someone who's lonely, showering down when the wind blows cold. Goodness. Cherry petals like the tears of someone who's lonely, showering down when the wind blows cold. People have tears when they're lonely? I can't imagine such loneliness.
He did.
Goodness. Hope I don't get lonely. Will you stay with me?
He wanted to be alone.
What if I went to the woods and was lonely? I don't want to be lonely. Oh, it's nice to be in the woods, but oh goodness. Now he says, Mount Yoshino. I doubt I'll be leaving it soon. Though through friends, I'm sure are waiting, saying, once the blossoms have fallen. There was something about how people, once the blossoms fall, they leave or something. What's the big deal? Mount Yoshino, I doubt I'll be leaving it soon, though friends, I'm sure, are waiting, saying, once the blossoms have fallen. Oh, the friends are there waiting for him to show.
They like to see the flowers.
In other words, they expect to see you when the flowers fall, because they expect you're gonna show up at Mount Yoshino, and that's what it is. When the blossoms fall, you're gonna show up. So your friends,
like you don't have anything beautiful to do.
Your friends expect you to show up, basically. We are reading from.
It means you prefer the flowers than the friends.
We're reading from Saigyo.
But the flowers come once a year.